This is the Crimson Recap on the SVI Sports Network. Focus on Star Valley High School sports, scores, and highlights from the previous week. The Crimson Recap is presented by First Bank of Wyoming, your home for totally free checking, with local branches in Afton and Alpine, and online at gofirstbank.com. And now, here's your host of the Crimson Recap, Jake Hibbard.
And welcome into another week. We're nearly drawing to a close of the winter season already. Now today we'll be looking at a preview toward the regional basketball state tournaments for Star Valley as they get ready to head into Green River and match up for the boys against Kelly Walsh as the number 1 seed versus the number 4. And for the Kelly Walsh girls, they're also the number 1 seed out of the Southwest as they will take on number 4 from the Northwest, Riverton. We also have a little bit of cross-country news to report on, and we'll talk about that just a little bit later. But we start today with the State Wrestling Championships, which happened over the weekend, where Star Valley's Lady Braves are still the only state champion in Wyoming girls wrestling history. Star Valley rolled to a second consecutive team title in the girls with a total of 163 points. After that, it was Pinedale finishing in a distant second at 101 points. And Sheridan once again made it onto the podium with a third-place finish at 100 points. Kemmer came in fourth place, narrowly missing out on a podium finish with 96 points. It was Kara Andrews, though, at 145, who was a state individual champion for Star Valley's girls, as she wrestled her way into the title match, which she won by fall in the third round. For Andrews, this was her second year making it into the title match after taking second place last year. Taking on Lindsay Julander of Kemmer in this year's final, Andrews bested her to lay claim to the crown. 3 more Star Valley girls made it to the championship round as well. Paisley Smith, Remington Allman, and Shaylee Kuntz all made it to the final round and all came home with a second place finish at state. The Star Valley boys finished 5th overall as a team in the 4A classification and had 3 individual state champions. Tel Perry at 132 pounds became a 2-time state individual champion as a sophomore. He picked up an 11-0 major decision over Andrew Gonzalez out of Cheyenne Central. Tel will carry his 2 titles onto his junior season next year as he continues his quest to become a 4-time individual state titleist. Tel's brother Kimball Perry won his first ever high school individual title at 106 pounds over the weekend as well. Kimball took on another Cheyenne Central wrestler, Sam Smith, and Kimball took Sam to the body shop on this move that eventually led to a third-round pin. Our final state champion was Cooper Burke at 157 pounds. As a senior, this was Burke's last shot at a title, and he didn't let it slip away. Burke defeated Lane Warburton out of Cheyenne South 6-0 and was expectedly pretty animated after the win. Congratulations to all of the Star Valley wrestlers on another great season. From wrestling, we jump over to basketball, where Star Valley closed out their season against Green River over the weekend, and now move on to the regional tournament, where they will both, girls and boys, be the number 1 seeds in their quadrant. Starting off on the boys' side, the first round of the regional tournament pits Star Valley up against Kelly Walsh. Now, the Trojans are the number 4 seed from the Northwest, with Star Valley being the top seed out of the Southwest. However, the first time they met in Star Valley, Kelly Walsh hung around against the Braves. The Trojans never led in a 54-49 Star Valley win, but were pretty pesky in Star Valley, and pesky can sometimes mean problems come regional time. Against Kelly Walsh, it looks like to me there's a few big keys. First of all, mental mistakes allowed Kelly Walsh to hang around in this game. Coach Randy Roden is going to try to extend possessions for his opponents to try to force those mistakes. On the inside, Star Valley will also need Simon Gaskell to be a big presence at the center of the offense. Whether it's setting screens to open up shooters or cleaning up on the offensive glass, it may not show up in the stat sheet, but a big game from Gaskell could provide some size down low that Kelly Walsh frankly can't match. Finally, if Star Valley does take a lead into the fourth quarter, there's only one way to close out, and that's by making free throws. Star Valley was able to get away with shooting under 70% from the stripe the first time these two teams matched up. They might not want to leave that area as much to chance again. Jumping over to the Star Valley girls, they also get a number 4 seed out of the Northwest. It's Riverton. Star Valley defeated Riverton the first and only time they played, 54-38. In order to do that again, I look toward Kenley Engelhart to split the defense as a point guard and find open looks out of that or drive to the basket and finish herself. Of course, turnovers, defense, and rebounding, always so big in basketball. Star Valley won't want to let any of those three slip during this matchup. Another thing, don't let anyone but Paisley Jackson beat you. You're probably not going to stop her, as Jackson put up 21 points against Star Valley the first time they played. But as I mentioned, that was 21 of Riverton's 38 total points. Don't let another player get going. And if you think that can't happen, think again, because I haven't mentioned that this regional game will also be played at 9 a.m. on Thursday. And if I know anything about an early morning tournament game, it's that everyone's going to be a little bit off. That makes for the potential of some strange outcomes over the years, and Star Valley doesn't want to be the latest of that. And finally, a little cross-country news. Hobby Wetzel was last week named Gatorade Runner of the Year in boys cross country for Wyoming after he won his second title in the event earlier this year. Wetzel's currently competing in the indoor season of track and field and getting ready to take it outdoor soon, and he sat down with our own Dal Erickson in an interview that you can hear in its entirety by checking out SVInews.com. Also, Ty Draney, the head coach for boys cross country, and Ballard Johnson, the assistant coach, were named Wyoming Coaches of the Year in their sports and are now up for National Coaches of the Year honors. That banquet will take place in June in Bismarck, North Dakota. Now let's take a look at what's coming up this week in Star Valley sports, as girls basketball and boys basketball will be taking on Riverton and Kelly Walsh this Thursday in Green River. 9 a.m. for the girls, noon for the boys, all watchable on SVI.com. You can also watch all of the regional action on SVI.com as well. Friday, March 1st, regionals continues. We do not know who they will be playing. We'll update you as soon as we do. And indoor track will begin its state championships at Gillette, which will continue on to Saturday. And of course, girls and boys regional basketball in Green River settles things up on Saturday as well. We look forward to finding out who will be the regional champs in each of their divisions. And that's it for me. I'll be back next week to take a look at the best in Star Valley.